Just like that, it's time for a quarterly goals refresh, and I did something a little different this quarter, and I'm really, really stoked about it. A quarterly goals refresh, or some opportunity to kind of rethink or reprocess your goals every quarter, is something that is not uncommon in goal planners nowadays. In the Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets, it is called your quarterly goal refresh. In years past, I have typically taken my annual goals, which I have right here written down and still color-coded. I use that as an opportunity to kind of reword them, to kind of re-inspire and re-motivate myself to kind of get back on track with the annual goals, because by the end of the first quarter, I already find myself off track. Fear not, this year is no different. However, this year I decided to take a slightly different approach to the quarterly goals refresh. As you can see here, this is the goals refresh, and I have the same colors and the same underlying goals. But what I ended up doing is taking the annual goals sheet here and looking at each goal individually, and instead of rewording the entire goal as a whole, I decided to pick one particular aspect of that goal to focus on for the next 90 days for the second quarter. So instead of a list of refreshed goals or refreshed verbiage of this particular sheet, this is actually more of a quarterly goals instead of a quarterly refresh of these goals, if that makes sense. But before we jump in, hi, my name is Brianna. I am the diva behind Diva and the Divine, and I am so glad you clicked on this video today. If this is the kind of content that interests you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Diva and the Divine community. We would love to have you. All right, let's jump right in. We're just gonna go block by block, color by color, because they are still synced up. I am a sucker for color coding, my friends. Starting with the annual goal that is number 1, become my fittest and strongest self. And the quarterly goal that I came up with because of that, it literally says refocus, consistency with 4 exclamation points on it. Remember, this is your number 1 priority. Somehow, some way, in the chaos of Q1 of this year, I had forgotten that I made a commitment to both you guys and myself that my health goal was my number 1, numero uno, this year. And as the quarter progressed, yes, I've been checking the boxes, I've been doing the things, but I haven't been leaning into that goal with the sense that this is my number 1 priority. I got swept up in creating content and doing house projects and doing all of these different things that all of a sudden by the end of the day, it's simply a going through the motions type of thing. And that makes it a lot easier for me to be able to let habits slide, to let other things slide, to skip workouts for more than just the reason of I literally don't have the energy to do it. I let it slip. This is me reminding myself like, hey, remember when you said that this was your number 1 priority? This is actually your number 1 priority. Please get back on that. So my whole goal for the green goal, the health goal, is to remember that this is my number 1 priority and start treating it as such. Goal number 2, the blue goal, is to cultivate and declutter my home. So naturally, what month are we in? We're in April, right? So the quarter 2 goal is, of course, spring cleaning. 'Tis the season, and it is a glorious season indeed. This is the time when we finally get to open our windows and let the fresh air in and do a top to bottom deep clean of our home. I have been actively decluttering and reorganizing some specific spaces in our home, including my office and the kitchen and things like that. And we have been making project and home improvements as things have been going on this year. Let's get those windows open. Let's clean light fixtures. Let's sanitize things that haven't been sanitized since last year. Let's dust from top to bottom, corners and cobwebs and baseboards and all of the things. Let's get everything spick and span. And it's a quarterly long goal because it's probably gonna take the entire quarter to get it done. For my pink goal, my annual goal is cultivate an exceptional marriage. As you guys probably know by now, a marriage goal of cultivating an exceptional marriage is a goal that is on my list every single year. Why? Because I firmly believe that that is a goal that does not have an ending point. You can't just go check, it's done. Having an exceptional marriage requires constant effort. So it's always going to be a goal on my annual goals. But this quarter's focus is going to be on dating my spouse specifically. My husband made a comment to me not too long ago about how he's like, I'm ready to just get out and do things. And I'm like, I hear you, babe. I am right there with you, but I have a big hesitation of going out when it is below freezing outside, which in Minnesota, literally today is the first day that we don't have a 30-degree high on our weather forecast. We finally, hopefully, please God, have turned the corner and spring weather is actually upon us. And actually, in like 5 days, it's gonna be almost 80. So did we miss spring? Probably. Who the heck even knows? But it is the opportunity, along with like opening the windows for the first time of the season, we get the chance to like go out and do things. And I wanna make sure that I embrace the idea of like dating my spouse again. Like when we got together, when we were dating, we were long distance. That's a story for a different day. But we would always go out and do fun and exciting things because we seized the opportunity that we had while we were together. And we want to kind of lean back into that. So a couple times a month, we want to make sure we're getting out and going and doing and dating each other like we did when we were actually dating each other. My blue goal smack dab in the middle there is to find an opportunity to perform music outside of my church. And this quarter's goal is kind of aligned with that, but in a very like kind of mishmashed way. So the actual actionable steps that I can be taking to achieve that goal of getting in a secular choir, getting in a show, things like that, I have taken in Q1 and I'm continuing to take, but it's not something that I can actually be like audition for and get in a show. Like that's not how it works, right? You don't know whether or not you're going to get in when you audition for something. So what I wrote down as my quarterly goal is to get immersed in the music I love again, which is of course musical theater. Musical theater is my first love, my absolute joy. And so what I want to do, my husband doesn't even know this yet, but he's going to be a part of it, is I want to make sure that we are actively watching musical theater and engaging in musical theater. And it doesn't even have to be, let's go downtown and pay $100 for a ticket to go see a show. There are so many opportunities, literally like on Disney Plus, to watch things like, I don't know, Hamilton on HBO or Netflix. Somebody has the Les Mis movie starring Hugh Jackman. There are great, and Netflix also has Shrek the Musical, which if y'all haven't seen it, it's one of my faves. I really love how well done it is. My point is there are opportunities to watch and immerse yourselves in musical theater from your couch. And I want to lean into that to kind of get myself excited about performing secular music again. I turned on Hamilton to run errands the other day, and let me just tell you, it was the most pumped my errands were in a long time because I'm sitting there in my car. People watching probably think I'm crazy because I'm bopping, I'm singing at the top of my lungs, I'm rapping, and I'm having a great time doing it. So musical theater really fires up a part of my soul that I haven't found anything else that can fire me up like that, you know? So I wanna lean back into that, get myself that feeling, because that feeling that I get when I'm hanging out with musical theater, it oozes into other parts of my life. And I become more of myself when I'm regularly doing stuff involving musical theater. That's why it's so important that I get back involved again. My green goal on here for the year, my light green, my lime green goal, is to upgrade my kitchen skills. Y'all, I have been slaying at that. The amount of different recipes that I have tried so far this year has been really, really high. I've been baking our own desserts. I've been baking high protein muffins. I've been merging recipes that I've been finding online, and I have been having a blast doing it. So overall, I'm actually achieving that goal really, really well. So for Q2, I decided to put an emphasis in what we're eating in the kitchen. Yes, this kind of ties into the health goal as well, obviously, but for the kitchen goal specifically, I wrote down have a Mediterranean diet focus, which I have talked about in different videos, and you will see as a recurring theme in upcoming What I Eat in a Day videos. Will we go 100% Mediterranean all of the time? No, we will not, because we like things like treats and going out and having ice cream and whatever. But as an overall underarching, this is a general rule of how we eat, it's really, really healthy, and it's already very aligned with how we eat anyway. So it's kind of a diet that just makes sense for my husband and I. So I'm going to go ahead and lean into learning how to prep more Mediterranean type things and trying various recipes and things of that nature for the second quarter, and we'll see how it goes. My little peach goal over here is to level up my editing skills, and I kind of decided to flip it around a little bit. My YouTube goal for this quarter is strictly about the consistency in my uploads. 2 videos a week, non-negotiable. It will happen. My little light blue goal down here is become more intentional about time management and limiting my time wasters. And I actually went ahead and leaned very heavily into a book that I'm reading called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Really, really great life advice in that book. But my goal for Q2 is to lean into the disciplines laid out in that book specifically. And I am very, very excited to get started and do so because it just makes sense to me. And I think because I so frequently, when I dive into goals of any kind and I get really excited about starting, I burn out in 2.5 seconds. So what I need to figure out is not how to achieve the goal. I know how to achieve the goals that I set out, but I need to figure out how to quit burning out as I go out to achieve my goals. And I think the lessons learned in this book will play a huge part in my ability to go out there and work hard and reach my goals and not burn out while I do it. I'm very excited. And then my last goal on here is my little yellow flag down at the bottom, and the annual goal is to read all of the unread books on my bookshelf. And the Q2 goal that I decided to implement for this quarter is to sacrifice phone time for book time. I am somebody who is actively trying to reduce my cell phone usage. Why? Because I am the first to admit that I am addicted to my cell phone, and it is a problem. I am a mindless, scrolling, disassociating, will spend way too much time on social media, and we all know that's not good for us, right? We all know that to be fact, scientific fact. But I just haven't been able to shake it. It's an addiction, it's a problem. And so one of the things that I wanna do is to make the conscious choice when I'm like, oh, I have an opportunity to sit and scroll Instagram for 20 minutes. Instead of picking up my phone, why don't I pick up my Kindle and read a book instead? I have all of these books here on my bookshelf that there are half of them that I have not read, you guys. I have all these books. Pick up a book and read them instead. So not only will it help me get towards my annual goal of reading the unread books on my shelf, but it will also help me with time management, phone addiction, all of those things as well. So ultimately, it's a win-win. And there you have it. Those are my refreshed goals for Q2, or my Q2 goals in their entirety. I want to hear about your approach to your quarterly goals refresh. Do you typically use the quarterly goals refresh to just reframe and reword the goals on your annual goal sheet? Or do you do something a little bit more aligned with what I did and set actual goals for the second quarter or for whatever quarter we're in? I would love to hear your feedback on that process. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And like I said before, if you want to join the Diva and the Divine community, we'd love to have you. Just click that little red button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.